This is my personal website. This is asiframoney.com, my brand website. I didn't create it. I didn't have a webmaster create it. AI created everything. Now I'm going to show you exactly how this is built, how it could be managed. I'm going to actually make a actual change so you can see me doing it. And I can teach you this kind of stuff. We can build stuff like that together for your business site, for your personal site, or whatever you want. Bottom line over here, websites like this one specifically is based in WordPress, but it could be anywhere. Any website like this you can maintain, you can create from scratch, you can make any changes, you can push a blog entry, whatever you want, without really knowing how to do it manually. So see all this stuff here, a lot of content, everything. I'm going to show you exactly how I can make a change. So for example, I have a section here which I talk about how I work with folks like yourselves. So I run a business, a small business called Visual SP, and businesses just like mine, I could teach you how you can run it using AI agents, and that's what this section is talking about. But one challenge currently on this particular page, the watch it on YouTube is going to the wrong location. I want it to go to a different location, which I'm going to show you in a second. So I'm going to tell Claude, which is what I use as my preferred AI agent, and you can use whatever. I'm going to tell it to go point to the right place. First, what is that right place? Let me show you. This is the place. This is the playlist, which shows many different scenarios of the kind of stuff that I do, that I can teach you, that we can work and build together. For example, get Claude Cowork to create scheduled blog posts on your behalf automatically. Use Google AI Studio, screen sharing. Have AI automatically check your website and report back if there's anything broken. Instead of hiring a video editor, have AI do that. And not everything is Claude, by the way. It's a combination of Descript or Google AI Studio or Claude Cowork. And this is the kind of stuff that I work with small business owners with, okay, or even department leads in mid-sized organizations. So having said all that, what I want to do is have Claude make actually a couple of changes, not one. One is that watch it on YouTube should be going to that playlist, which I'm going to give it. And second thing, when you go to the see how it works, this particular page currently says hands-on mentoring sessions in Claude Cowork and AI tools around it. That's not very specific. What I would want to do maybe is to give some examples of the AI tools that I use. So I'm going to have Claude put some of that stuff in here. I'm going to make a prompt. I'll do it in a specific project in Claude Cowork where I already have this asiframoney.com project there. I'm going to show you all this stuff, and I'm going to show you it running, and then I'll show you the actual change that it makes here. Bottom line, for all this stuff, you do not need a person to do any of this stuff anymore, and you'll see it in action. Come and work with me afterwards. Connect with me just go to asiframoney.com and book the 15 minutes like it says over here, and I'll show you all this stuff in person synchronously, okay? Let me switch over to Claude now. Here in Claude Cowork is the actual project. It's called the asiframoney.com website project. And here, if you look to the right, got some instructions here. Let me go into edit and show you what it says. So it's basically saying you are my website administrator. I'm going to rely on you, and you tell me how to design and edit my personal website, or you do it for me. Now, these instructions are a little bit sparse. I could even have it more specific. I would recommend that, but it works right now. So I'm going to cancel here. I also have given it lots of different stuff to remember. This happens over time. So as I'm talking to it about my navigation structure and how I like the wording to be, the font that I like, the kind of layout that I like, it remembers all these things, and it makes the MD files, puts it all in memory just for me over here. Okay, I can give it additional context. I even have a scheduled task here, which is basically checking my site health, making sure everything is good, everything is updated, and if it's not updated, it's updating my plugins in WordPress, it's updating my site to go from a different version. All that stuff is possible, and it's already happening. Okay, lots of good stuff here. What I want to do though is, as I was saying, I'm going to put in an actual query to make those changes that I was talking about. Now, to make the changes, you have to use the Cowork side of things right here. It cannot do that in chat. That's the difference. Chat is your brainstorming, you're chatting and things like that. Cowork is where it actually makes the change. So let me write the prompt and then I'll show you the prompt. Ready with my prompt. Here's what it says. Make the following changes to the asiframani.com website, wherever it's linking to the YouTube channel for Asif Ramani, which is my YouTube channel, the general one. Have it instead go to the following playlist. That's the playlist I was showing you. I don't want it to just go to general YouTube. I don't want people to have to dig around to see. I wanted to go to the exact playlist, which shows all the different scenarios that I personally use for my business and what I provide mentoring on. And then it says on this page where it shows AI operator mentoring, which would be mentoring for folks like yourselves. It currently only says I provide mentoring and coaching for Claude Cowork and AI tools around it, which is not true because I use many different tools. So I'm telling it to mention the other following tools that I use to run my business and can help other business owners and department leads of mid-sized organizations automate their tasks and processes with these AI tools. So this is the kind of stuff right here. Claude Cowork, ChatGPT work, Microsoft Copilot Cowork, Google Gemini. There's also Google Gemini AI Studio and Gemini Spark. Maybe I'll remove the space around it. Descript, Lovable, Gamma, Whisper Voice, HubSpot, Breeze, and more. This is supposed to be one tool we're talking about. Let's fix this here. This is what it's supposed to be. Google Gemini AI Studio and Gemini Spark. Lots of great stuff here. And then at the bottom here, extremely important, it has to know what project to use, what credentials to use. So I've given it credentials ahead of time, which I'm not going to cover in this video, but that's the kind of stuff you have to set up ahead of time before it goes ahead and knows where to go, what to do, right? So you make a user ID password, which could be an application password, or you give it access so it can use your browser to go to the site, and WP admin for WordPress or other kind of admin. And on top of that, you train it if you want. You can actually train it to do certain things or not do certain things. And then last but definitely not least, you see it says skip over here. So if I don't use skip all different actions or different permissions that it needs to ask me, it's going to stop every few minutes and ask me things. I don't have time for that. I have given it enough training and I used it enough times to know that I can trust it. If you've not done that in the beginning, definitely you don't want to skip this, by the way. So the options here, you got skip, all approvals, automatically approve, or manually approve. What is the difference? That's the kind of stuff that I talked to you about. Okay, so we'll talk about that when you and I talk about these things. Okay, so I am ready. I'm going to go ahead and execute this. Okay, and this, of course, takes a bit for it to do all the things that it needs to do. First, I want to just show you how it starts up, but I won't bore you with everything. Otherwise, you can be watching this video for me actually watching this happen for a long time. I'll pause it, come back when there's something that's happened. We'll go from there. So one thing it did, it was asking me which browser that I want to use because it wants to control my browser to do something. Okay. And I have two computers connected to this particular Claude Cowork, which could be a little complex, but we'll talk through it. That you want to make sure it's using the right browser. For me, it's the browser that I have open all the time, right? I have a different one which I close, a different computer. You don't want it to be using that. You want it to be the one that's open all the time. That's also very important. So that's one decision point. And now it's still going. All right, let me show you something which is going to be pretty helpful to see that this is controlling my actual browser on my computer. So if I go to the browser and I'm going to click on the one that it's controlling, this is the one where it's actually gone into my WordPress backend and it's doing certain things here. You can probably see that this is not my cursor. It's the cursor that Claude is using. It says Claude started debugging this browser. I don't know why it says debugging, unfortunately. You just stay using the browser. But this is the actual cursor that Claude is using, okay, to do what it needs to do. It takes a bit, it moves around, takes pictures, screenshots, basically. It knows what to do, so let it control your browser and your user to make changes happen. So we'll come back in Claude Cowork here. See, it's already been 5 minutes, 10 seconds. It is not a really fast process, just to be clear. Think about when you're delegating a project like this, you're saying to Claude Cowork, "Hey, I need you to do this thing." All you gotta do is to remember to come back and see what it has done, let's say 15, 20 minutes from then. You can just go ahead and do something else, just like you would delegate to a human being. So it's not super quick, but it does work wonders and it gives you your time back. Okay. So as a small business owner, as a department lead, if you got all this stuff over here, you want to delegate. You want to delegate and let it do its thing. So I'm going to pause here, come back when it's done. All right, so it is finally done. It did take about 15 minutes or so. So like I was saying before, you will need to delegate and move away and do some other stuff and come back. So in this case, it says both changes that you asked for, Asif, are live. Every YouTube link on the site now goes to the playlist. Wonderful. And it's talking about on the mentoring page, the hero now reads AI Stack. I run my own company on Claude Cowork, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, etc. Which is true. I use all these tools and I do coaching and teaching on all these tools. So let's see if it actually made those changes. I've not even looked at the website yet, but I'm hoping that it's all correct like it's supposed to be. And also it's telling me that in addition, or maybe instead of screenshots, it used the document object model, DOM, to make sure everything is correct. So it's making the changes, going back and making sure that everything was taken. All right, let me switch to the browser and let's check those changes out. Here's the original page. So this is what I showed you before. It said hands-on mentoring session on Claude Cowork and AI tools around it, right? I got the same exact page opened up and I refreshed the page. Here's what it says after the changes that Claude Cowork made for me, which is hands-on mentoring sessions in the AI stack I run my own company on. Claude Cowork, ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Gemini, rest of it. So it actually made a decision to put specific ones and omit the other ones. That's the thing where you're telling it what to do and why to do it. It actually figures out the how and it makes changes as needed as well, which proud of it. It's actually doing a really good job. Now, in addition, what I wanted it to do is to point to the playlist, which has all the case scenarios that I would be working with you. So here we go. Watch the playlist. Let's see. And here we go. It is going to the right playlist now. Awesome. Going back to the site, we'll go back up and I'll click on the home page because the home page also I remember had a link. So it's two different places where there's a link. So at the middle of the page is where it's talking about folks like yourself running your own company. I teach and I work with you on different AI agents. And here is watch the AI agent builds. Oh, look at that. It made the actual change. So it's not saying watch the videos. It says watch the AI agent builds. The different kind of stuff that I show in this YouTube playlist, which, by the way, will be growing because there's so many different scenarios you can use on your business. So if you are interested in working with me, we will work together. We'll build stuff out together. So you have these AI agents and scheduled workers, basically. So you don't have to pay so much money on to humans doing the same kind of stuff that AI can do now. Reach out to me, see over here, like it says, see how it works, put something on my schedule, book 15 minutes, and we'll go from there. I bet you there's a lot you can accomplish with your AI tools that you already have or additional ones you can get. So let's talk. See you soon.